Hi, this is Heidi, episode 63, Procrastination. Life isn't a spectator sport. Success comes to those who show up every day with a pocket full of courage, grit, and a little sparkle. I'm glad you're here. Hello, friends, family, new listeners. How are you? We are in the middle of a beautiful fall here in Boston. This is our season, y'all. I'm enjoying it. I'm soaking in all the nice leaves and the trees whenever I'm out driving, and it just seems to pass too fast. So I'm making lots of impromptu trips to apple orchards just because I want like a quick, beautiful trip. And I want the yummiest apples ever. Now, I have a big announcement about a new program starting in December, an exclusive weight loss group. It's going to be group coaching. It's going to be awesome. And I'm making final details on it now, so watch for webinars and specifics. Make sure you're getting my weekly emails and follow me on social media, especially Instagram. I'm always putting quick tips in my stories that people are finding very helpful. So follow Heidi Benjaminson Coaching. So much good stuff coming. Today's episode is about procrastination, what it is, and how we can manage our brains to get ourselves to do what we need or want to do when it needs to get done. A few people actually have reached out to me and asked for me to talk about this. Many have found it a surprising and sneaky symptom of perfectionism. And I have a sign in my living room that says, "The key to success is getting started." So it's about time we talk specifically about procrastinating. So let's start with the basic definition of procrastination. Dictionary.com says it's the action of delaying or postponing something. Notice how procrastination is an action or an inaction, which means we have a feeling that fuels procrastination. And that feeling is created from something we're thinking. Maybe we think, I don't know what to do. Remember, that's almost always a lie. That thought creates indecision or confusion, which then fuels our procrastination. Sneaky, huh? It's good for us to have that awareness of the pattern in our minds so we can change it. So procrastination is to delay starting or delaying doing something. Often what we're delaying isn't the actual act of doing something, but rather we want to avoid emotions, maybe discomfort or brain energy of taking that first step. So when we delayed starting papers in college, we were delaying the feeling of doubt if the first sentence was good. We were delaying feeling focused or committed because hanging out with our friends felt better. When we delay making a final decision on a family vacation or buying plane tickets, well, back pre-COVID when we did fun things like that, we're delaying the discomfort and vulnerability of spending a lot of money, delaying the nervousness created by thoughts like, well, what if it rains on the cruise? What if I can't get off work that week and I've paid for it? We delay going to the doctor to get tests done for a health issue so we can put off feeling concern or fear or nervousness. We all delay difficult conversations because we want to delay the discomfort. So think of what you are putting off and figure out the emotion that you're really avoiding feeling. Procrastination is really fear. It is fear of failure, fear of mistakes, fear of discomfort, like I just talked about as a possible emotion. It is fear of making decisions and having to be responsible for the consequences. And y'all, sometimes we procrastinate because we fear success and the vulnerability that opens up to us with success. Most of us don't think about it like that. We just think, oh, I'm putting it off because I don't want to work hard, or I'm lazy, or I can't get myself going. It disguises as that, but especially for us perfectionists, delaying the start of a project just delays the possibility of making a quote unquote wrong choice. I put off making decisions when we were building our house totally because of that fear of making what I thought was such a huge and permanent decision and not wanting to make the wrong choice. Totally fear-based. When I was beginning this podcast well over a year ago, I procrastinated weeks and even months to get the first episodes out. very much fearing the vulnerability that launching it would bring into my life. I was delaying my own mind drama when I get praise and even criticism. So what are you delaying? Are you delaying changing jobs? Why? Are you worried about making the wrong choice? So be on to your brain, and we'll talk about how to manage it in a few minutes with tools to get started. Okay, one last characteristic of procrastination you might see. It disguises itself also as thinking we need to know all of the steps to reach a goal before we can even take the first step. It's our brain wanting certainty, when in reality, we only need to take the first step. And even that step can be taken multiple times if we repeatedly learn and learn with each new step. And I just want you to see how totally commonsensical, is that even a word? It seems like you're being wise or even being smart to have every step planned out. But again, this is perfectionism sneaking in and tricking you into delaying the first vulnerable step. Wanting to know every step is our brain's way of, again, that certainty. This is how it wants to feel. So since we know that, we can either create certainty by telling ourselves, I always figure out the next step when I need to, or of course I know the right thing to do when it'll be the right time. Or better yet, we can get good at feeling uncertain and still taking action. Okay, either trick works. All right, I just want to be clear before we go on. Procrastination is all of those things, and it is not laziness or a character defect. It isn't. It can get labeled as these things, and it 100% is not that. So you're fixing something that isn't broken if you address it in those ways. We never shame ourselves or anyone else into improving. So telling yourself or others that we're lazy works against us every time. Now, before I go on, let's just do a refresher on our brains. Since procrastination happens because of thoughts we're thinking, often thoughts we've thought on repeat for years and years. Our brains are really good at catastrophizing, always exaggerating the worst thing to happen. So we delay because our primitive brain is tricking us so it can stay safe, nice and comfy, watching shows and not listing our house to move, not updating our resume or applying for that job after being home for 20 years. Our brains seek immediate pleasure on default. So starting a project, which will require grit or courage or determination, all for a long-term or delayed gratification, will require our higher brain to override the lower brain's default settings. Our brains also trick us into thinking we might feel different in the future. Oh, I'll do it later. Like later is some date and time when we'll be excited to discuss the details of our will with our spouse. Or later we'll be happy to wake up early and exercise before the kids wake up. So later always sounds better in the now, but we all know when later comes, we still don't want to do it. So in order to overcome procrastination, we have to get really good at doing things even when we don't want to. Now, just a side note here, before I list off some tools to use, I do think there are times when we aren't procrastinating or delaying, but we're deciding with intention that doing a project at another time is more wise or a better use of our time. I can be impulsive and just want to get things done. And if I plan my errands and calendar and schedule, sometimes chunking activities together is a much wiser use of my time. I might need something from the store today, but I see on my calendar that I'll be right by that store tomorrow at a child's soccer practice. So those things that you're putting off, just ask yourself, does this need to get done now? Does it benefit me to stack it with another activity another day? Or am I just putting off some hard work? And only you know the answer to that. Okay, here are several tools to overcome procrastinating. First, work on just one thing that you've been procrastinating. Today, pick one thing that you're going to do that your brain wants to delay, but you're going to just do it. Your brain wants you to be paralyzed in, oh, there's so many things to do. Nope. Pick one thing. Then be focused and get going. Tell yourself you only need to take the next right step. That's it. And if you take that step and want to change it, that's okay. But that's the step. Take action. Not passive action, which is watching a documentary about the topic of a college class that you want to sign up for. Do the massive action. Sign up for the college class. Don't just research how to set up an Etsy shop. Actually create your Etsy shop. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just take the massive action to do it and create it. And be aware of your emotions as you do it. Are you feeling scared? Are you feeling uncertain? Why? What comes up for you? Is it thoughts of, oh no, I shouldn't spend this much money. Oh no, am I creating more commitment for myself in the future and I really like the flexibility I have now? Be on to yourself. Your brain wants you to stop. One step doesn't mean you're married to the Etsy shop for life. Do the hard first step and know it really isn't as serious or as final as you might think it is. But it is a big deal in this way. That first step is you telling yourself that you value your goals, your dreams. It's a sign you make to yourself that you are someone who gets things done. Now, set a very clear result. Today, I will figure out how to make a Facebook ad that advertises a weight loss program and make the graphic. Or you might say, today, I will sign up for and go to one new class that I've been looking at for over a year. Today, I will call 4 therapists and discuss either my own treatment or interview them to treat someone in my family. Today, I will send 5 emails offering my services. Today, I will make 1 phone call to a family member that needs my support. Make clear, measurable results so your brain knows that it isn't solving world peace today. It's just doing those simple tasks. Then you also can reflect back tonight to praise yourself for doing those simple things. Okay, third, again, be on to yourself. We always find what we're looking for. Do you look for reasons to do something? Or are you always spouting off excuses why you can't do something? What mental glasses are you wearing? My dad always said, where there's a will, there's a way. Always. Having that will requires energy and the ability to look, search, weigh different options. On the other side of this energy, though, is the self-pride that we can figure things out, that we are people who solve problems. Does your brain say, I don't know a lot? Then tell yourself, yes, I do know. I do this work a lot with clients. I make them answer their own questions. I've had my coaches do this to me, and it's truly amazing the answers we have inside our own brains. I still produce my podcast on software that Apple insists and most people agree isn't supported or compatible anymore with the Mac operating software. I found a solution after hours of scouring the internet about a year ago, solely because I believed an answer was out there and I was determined to find it. And I did. I could have very easily given up, but I kept the lens on that I could figure it out. And even if we ultimately end up with a solution that we didn't plan on, we still learn through the entire process. Now set up your environment and schedule the work to your advantage. Do you have more momentum or commitment in the morning? Plan to do the hard things then. I always go to the gym right then, right away. It's hard. I get it done. I don't have excuses or life that then get in the way. I plan my work when my home is quiet. Even though my family's home, I set myself up for success. I know when I need quiet and when I can be interrupted and still get things done. Maybe you get more done after your kids go to sleep. Figure it out, then use the momentum of the first step to take the next step. Okay, next, one of the most useful tools to use to motivate ourselves to take steps to start and then continue with goals and projects is to visualize ourselves on the other side of the goal. Our bodies do not know the difference between an emotion we create from visualizing or the emotion of it actually happening. How will you feel when you open your small bakery or soda shop? How will you feel when your book outline is accepted by a publisher? How will you feel knowing you've taken the steps to pay off debt or knowing your will and trust are in place? How will you feel after going to a new gym or taking a yoga class for 3 months? That future you needs to guide you, to walk with you every day and tell you the discomfort is worth it, that you are worth improving, and that the results are way bigger than you can imagine. I can't emphasize enough how much these techniques of visualizing have helped me take so many uncomfortable steps, so many vulnerable steps. I've taken massive action and misspelled words in Facebook ads and posts. I've unintentionally offended people. None of that was what I wanted to do, but the emotions they all brought up were and continue to be the price that I'm going to have to pay to grow myself and my business. Every time I set out with a bigger goal, I picture myself when things are going great, after I've done all the uncomfortable, after I've learned, after I've figured out new things. There's still discomfort on the other side, and there's bigger pride and confidence. My friend Sarah reminds me from time to time. She says, I remember when you told me the very first time you were going to be a life coach, and look, you've done it. Why is this amazing for so many of us? Because so many of us talk the talk, but we don't do what needs to get done. So where are you just talking and you need to start doing something? As I've heard Brooke Castillo say, discomfort is the currency of success. I love to remind myself discomfort or even confusion or nervousness are signs and emotions that I'm on the right path. They remind me I'm actually doing life. I'm in the arena and it feels good. Like I say in this podcast introduction, life is not a spectator sport. Procrastinating is a way of sitting on the sidelines. Participating in life means doing what we're putting off. It means taking massive action, feeling uncertainty and vulnerability, getting knocked down, maybe getting kicked around, and standing up and trying again. One of the negative effects of procrastinating is limiting our options. One of my son put off requesting his classes for the year until like the last day, so he didn't get many of the classes he wanted. He had to pick between some art classes that he did not want to take. He isn't lazy, he just didn't manage his brain well with that. Now, by taking steps today, your future options are greater. There will be way more doors open to you. Now, my final thought, done is better than perfect. Be a finisher. Most people don't finish. You don't have to be them. You can start and finish. Lean on my confidence in you if you need to, and I promise your own confidence will develop, even while taking shaky and nervous steps. It feels awesome on the other side. Okay, stay tuned for new upcoming programs, including an exclusive weight loss group that, again, we're going to start this before the holidays because we can do hard things and we are not procrastinating it. Information and registration is coming in the next weeks. If you want to stop procrastinating, stop feeling so anxious and stressed, and create a life of confidence and integrity, sign up for a free consult call on HeidiBenjaminson.com. Do it now. Why wait? A confident mother is the best gift to her family. Let your family see you change. You've always hired coaches for them. Now it's time for you to have a coach, and I'd be honored to be yours. Have a great week.